It's Russell Revelator, bringing a theory to you. About what, you ask? Let's just get into it, man. In doing some research, I came across this idea that Europe hasn't only been predominantly Caucasian, and definitely not ruled by Caucasians throughout all of history. One king in particular that seems to have some of the greatest evidence for them being an Israelite or of African descent, what they would say nowadays, is King James, the first and the sixth. He ruled Scotland, for 36 years, and then he became the first king to rule over both England and Scotland when he became the King of England in the year 1603. Now, the reason why he's called King James the First and the Sixth is because he was the sixth King James of Scotland, and he was the first King James of England. And he came to those thrones at two different periods of time. He was the first king to sit on three different thrones at once: England, Scotland, and Ireland, and was responsible for uniting these three countries into what is called Great Britain. Now, you would believe that accomplishments as great as this would be taught in modern history, but of course they're not. And the fact that many rulers of Europe from about 193 AD to about the mid to late 16th century were people of color. This period is documented in modern history as the Dark Ages, in which the descendants of Israelites ruled over Europe for over 1,000 years. This is why also it is tactically referred to as the Dark Ages. Modern historians try to avoid this fact by stating that the Dark Ages was a period in Europe in which no history was recorded, neither was there any new achievements politically, culturally, or economically. You have to remember that these are the same institutions that claim they can find proof of life as far as 1 billion years ago, yet they have a hard time figuring out something as simple as who is in power in this place during a 1,000-year period of history. Many so-called scholars would like to refute this fact, but they can't. One of the reasons is, there can be found within the coats of arms and artwork of many European countries still to this day the images of black royalty. So I'll just put up a few examples here. Feel free to pause or whatever, because there's quite a few of them. And these are just a few examples of the proof of the presence of black nobility and royalty in Europe during what is called the Middle or Dark Ages. King James was one of the last kings of this era to reign over Europe. In fact, this is a picture of King James himself from a book titled King James VI and First and the Reunion of Christendom. As you can clearly see, he's a man of color, or he was a man of color. Now, what they did with I don't want people to be like, oh, anti-Semite, but the fact is that these people considered themselves Jewish, and they were powerful. They, with the help of Oliver Cromwell, they beheaded King James's son, King Charles the First of England. And as soon as they took down all the black people that were ruling in Europe at the time, they started setting up their own kings over thrones in Europe under the same name. Hence where you get the modern day Queen Elizabeth and the modern day Prince Charles, to make you believe that they were in power the whole time. But as you can imagine, it's a lot of history to track down. But I encourage you to look into it yourself and let me know in the comments, after you've done a plethora of research, as I have, see what conclusions you get led to. But yeah, man, it's Russell the Revelator, Cloud9 ENT, telling y'all stay free, stay safe, stay armed, and keep thinking, man. I'm gonna be back. I know I got another theory that I know won't gain much traction because people don't want to think about it, but that doesn't mean it's anything that we should shy away from. So be easy, y'all. Stay safe. Signing out from the cloud now.